Okay, so I'm not saying like stop meditating. It's that meditation is changing. And the way that we have been taught to meditate is kind of old technology. But again, if it works for you, then continue. I'm just giving you newer information on how to connect and really get a lot more clear wisdom. It's the higher dimensional way to meditate, let's just say. This is how it's done in the higher dimensions. And I've never meditated in my life. So when I had my spiritual awakening and all my chakras, blowing open and my initiation, I was like, but I didn't do anything. So the traditional way to meditate is not a requirement. I never did any of the things that people do that are supposed to bring enlightenment. I never did yoga. I still haven't done yoga. And I'm not saying there's not benefits to it, but if you're doing these activities and they're not really working for you, I have something else for you to try. So the traditional way to meditate is you're very focused on your mind, and that's the problem. Our society is very mind focused. There's too much emphasis put on the intellect and the mind. I see people out there trying to ascend with your mind, and it's never going to happen. So the way that humans were originally made is the mind was in service to the heart. And when we fell, we got disconnected, and we just started taking our direction from the mind alone and not with the heart involved. And when that happens, it doesn't go well. So the mind was always supposed to be in service to the heart, not the other way around. Your true intelligence is not in your mind. If you want to say God intelligence or the universal intelligence, it's in your soul, and your soul resides in your heart. And the reason that we incarnate again and again and again and again is we let the mind take over, which contains the ego, and we make all our decisions strictly from our mind and our ego and not our heart. And that's why we have to continuously reincarnate until we get it. So if you've ever tried meditating, or you just find it impossible to meditate, it could be that you're just ready to use the new technology of meditation. So what I've always done and what is done in the higher realms is they don't meditate and just think of clearing the mind and the chatter and everything. That's what the mind's supposed to do. So trying to negate that is kind of impossible. So what you do is you contemplate. But what you're doing is you're not focusing on your mind or trying to stop the thoughts of your mind. You're focused on your heart, and you're focused on your heartbeat. And if you have to sit and hold your heart, that's fine. If you want to, hold somewhere where you can feel your heart beating and just focus on your heart, that's another way. But I never just sit somewhere in a room and just focus on my heart. That doesn't work for me. So what I do and what they recommend is you go out in nature. You don't bring any phones or music or any distractions or anything like that. You go out and you stand still and you focus on your heart and get in rhythm with your heart and get silent with your heart. And then you start walking in nature. And then your mind, when your heart is active, it starts contemplating. It's not trying to negate itself or anything, but it contemplates. And you find yourself talking to yourself. And it's really your higher self kind of having a discussion with maybe your lower self or your ego. I get a lot of epiphanies when I go out and do this. I get a lot of what people call downloads when you go out in nature and you contemplate. So this doesn't involve any visualizing. A lot of people like to visualize when they meditate. but that's also engaging the mind again. So there's no visualizing or anything while we're doing this. We're just walking in nature and contemplating. And when you're walking and you're in your heart space, you need to tune into the environment around you and listen for the birds. Listen to the leaves crunching beneath your feet. Listen for any water. Just, listen to the breeze coming by. Really immerse yourself in the energies of nature, because that's pure God source energy. Nature contains the frequency of the heart. And that's why I always tell everybody to go out in nature, because it contains the frequency of what we call love. And these waves of energy will come in and they will inform you. They will give you answers. So that's what you're doing in your contemplation. You're asking, what should I do, with this situation? What should I talk about today on YouTube? Anything like that. And being out in those energies and everything, they will inform you and give you an answer. But again, try to stay out of your mind and just focused in your heart and connected to everything in nature. Everything will inform you. You will get your answers. I get them every time that I go out. So try this method instead of the traditional sitting in silence and focused on your mind and trying to negate your thoughts. That's just old technology. But again, if it works for you, great. But the new technology, which is an old technology, is to contemplate out in nature, focused on your heart, immerse yourself in the energies of nature with everything, trees, smells, sounds, feelings of the wind, everything, all the elements. And you'll be washed with the energy of what love resonates at. And you will get true wisdom. You'll get truths there, not anything made with your ego. It will be true wisdom. Okay? So I hope that helps those of you who think you're doing something wrong because you can't seem to meditate. But try this, and I'm sure it will work for you. Okay? That's it for today, and I will see you on the next video.